Hi, I'm Jesse from the BracketPal team, and today I'm going to be talking about setting up self-check-in and using self-check-in from an administrator's standpoint. Self-check-in in BracketPal will be very helpful in particular tournaments there where you want to minimize the contact with players, especially as a result of the rise of COVID-19. Um, but also just in general, if you don't have a need to hand out things or collect physical waivers or physical flyers or anything like that, um, or like have swag to give out, then this would be a great opportunity for you to use self check-in. It works similar to airline check-in, where you in advance of the tournament or possibly the morning of, just as with an airline, you would go to their website and specify that you're checked in for your flight. In this situation, it works the same. You'll say, I'm in for this particular tournament. So as an administrator, you're going to start, you'll see we got our tournament up here, and you're going to head over to the registration and check-in page. And then the next step is to click the Send Self Check-in email button. This, uh, by clicking this link, this sends the check-in email to every email that's part of this tournament, and it also enables the self check-in system for folks who might not have received the emails, or for if there was an email, you know, folks who entered the wrong email for their players. So we go ahead and send this self check-in. You'll see it said 41 sent 41 self check-in emails, and that has now gone out to all of the players. At this moment, players can begin checking themselves in by themselves. So we're gonna show a couple of angles here, but particularly um, one of the things you're going to want to do as a tournament director for folks who again did not receive those emails, the system will generate this random 4-digit code, and it's going to change from tournament to tournament. In this situation, you can announce this 4-digit code out over the loudspeakers or PA or whatever and say, hey, if you haven't checked in, go to the tournament page and click self check-in and enter this 4-digit code. In doing that, they will then submit their own check-ins, and I'm going to do a little bit of that on the side here, just so that you can see what it looks like from an administrator's side. Okay. So you enter the self check-in key, which I'm doing here. So there is one team that by default that can be checked in if the email is associated. So you'll see, we're going to scroll on down here and we'll just see when this updates. So if you notice this very bottom one, Gum and Hammer, this is a fake team that I've added to the tournament. And I click check in on my mobile, and it's now checked us in on the administrative tournament side, and that team is checked in. It's also possible that, again, you might not have received the email, so you don't have the direct link, or the email isn't it's not, something isn't connected properly, but you know a team is here. So I could type in a team directly, and I might say, and I'll put in a phone number here. And I click check in a team, and this was done on my mobile. You'll notice we get a little notification here that's going to pop up and make some little animations and try to get your attention that says one pending self check-in. If we click on this email, or if we click on this button, this is going to expand and show us all of the potential self check-ins that folks have specified. So in this case, we've got a team, or the athlete or the team has been specified as Moore and Barrett. We can see Moore and Barrett are right here. So let's go ahead and check them in. And once we've addressed that, we can click this check-in is handled, and then that will dismiss this particular check-in request. If for some reason the athlete or the team name doesn't appear, they've entered in a team name that just doesn't make any sense, they've also would have specified a phone number, and they and they had to have an email address they had to be logged in as an email or with an email address. So you could contact them by email, or you could shoot them a text message, give them a call, something like that, to say, hey, you've entered team Smith and Barnett, and we don't have a Smith and Barnett for this tournament. Could you help me out here? Who you're trying to check in? This allows you to handle those. And then once that's done, I can click this check-in is handled. All that is dismissed and goes away. And that's basically it. You're going to be, as an administrator, you're either going to be getting players who check themselves in directly, like we had with Gum and Hammer, or you're going to have players who check themselves in by submitting their self-check-in by just typing in text, and you're going to have to do the check-in manually, which would be comparable to them walking up to the table and telling you their name. So the situation kind of works itself out. So hopefully you found that helpful. Please double check the other video, that's the sister video that's going to go with this, which is self check-in from the player's side. Thanks, and have a good one.